Why do the humans focus on what's wrong when so many beautiful things are happening in the world?
They have fear and they're always preparing to protect themselves, be it real or be it illusionary, because that control makes us feel safer. Hi everyone, welcome to the Isha Judd podcast. This is episode 6, and the very special subject we have today is who is right and who is wrong. And Betchie, welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be back on my podcast. And I've been doing a lot of field work. I've been studying the humans very, very intensely. Well, when I'm awake, I study the humans very, very intensely. And there's lots of things I wish to discuss. And I want to talk about who's right, who's wrong. Isha, these past days I've been near humans when they're listening to the news. Not because I understand much, but because I feel a change in the room. You know, everything I perceive is through emotion and the changes within the body. And their bodies become still, but it's not the stillness of rest, it's the stillness of bracing. Their ears listen, but their shoulders, they lift. Their breath becomes smaller, their eyes focus far away. It is as if the sound is not only entering their ears, but it's entering their bodies. I hear words repeated often: leaders, countries, security, future, decisions. The humans that are on the screen sound very certain, as if they know what should happen for many people that they haven't even met. And the humans listening react as if those voices touch their lives directly. I watch this, and it makes me curious. It looks like a small number of humans decide many things for a big number of humans. And others feel like their peace depends on what these people have to say. Dogs don't live like that, Isha. If something affects us, it's here, in front of us, in the body. We don't give our peace to distant voices. So I wonder, do politicians truly decide how humans live? Or do humans slowly give away their inner direction without noticing?
That's a very good observation, Betchie. Politicians make visible decisions, but they don't create the consciousness of society. It arises from the society. A fearful population chooses a protective leader. An angry population wants someone with a strong voice. A divided population creates a polarized system. Leaders are not separate from the people. They're reflections. This is not about blame, it's about awareness. In unity consciousness, responsibility shared. But the thing is, we love to blame politicians for our problems because the majority of humans don't want to take responsibility for their lives. And that's why they're so attentive with the television and so tense, depending on who's in power and who's not, whether they like the leader or they don't like the leader. But ultimately, we always have the leader we deserve. Because inner life inevitably expresses outwardly as culture, as politics, as collective behaviour. A confused society cannot consistently choose clarity. A reactive society creates reactive systems, and a society learning presence gradually chooses something differently. And this is why I don't talk about politics, because Presence and consciousness is the responsibility of each individual. And I keep emphasizing this. If you want the world to change, you have to change yourself.
Wow, that's very complicated. Isha, there's something else that I noticed. Humans talk a lot about big decisions, government decisions, global decisions, historical decisions. Everyone has their own opinion about everything. But during the day, I see many small decisions they don't really make. They ask each other where to eat, what to wear, what to think about a situation, what something means. Sometimes 5 humans discuss a simple choice, longer than a dog takes to decide where to nap. Dogs decide with the body. Humans seem to decide with many voices inside. If small decisions feel heavy, maybe big ones are really frightening. Do humans practice listening to themselves enough to decide from clarity? I feel sorry for these politicians. They have to make big decisions, but normal people can't even make the smallest decisions.
Betchy, we're trained to analyze, not to sense. We're rewarded for correct answers, not for inner alignment. So decision making moves into our mind away from our hearts and our internal knowing. But clarity is not overthinking. Clarity is coherence between the mind, the body, and feeling. When a human's divided inside, decisions are so heavy. When a human's unified, the decisions become simpler. They come quickly, they come with clarity, and they also come with certainty.
Isha, dogs never try to be certain. We try to be attentive. Maybe attentiveness is more useful than certainty. There's another thing I keep hearing, Isha. The word war. Humans say it with very heavy voices, sometimes afraid, sometimes determined, sometimes as if it is inevitable. Some say war is terrible, and others, they say it's necessary. Some say it protects the peace. That part I don't really understand how killing each other protects the peace, but that's a human thing. Others say it prevents worse things. I try to imagine dogs organizing war. Firstly, it's not going to be easy between naps, but I guess if we really tried, we could. But I don't think anyone's going to be interested because it doesn't make any sense. We bark, we growl, we show our teeth, but once the moment passes, it passes. We don't gather later to remember who barked first. Humans remember conflicts for a very, very long time, across generations. They even have history books that keep record of the conflicts for thousands of years. They remember who hurt whom, who was right, who was wrong, and sometimes the ones remembering were not even there. That really confuses me. So I wonder, does war create peace or does it only pause something? And when humans say acceptance, do they mean agreeing or something else?
Well, Betchy, they're really deep questions. And I guess, yes, it can stop an immediate threat, but it cannot create inner peace. Peace is not a treaty, it's not a document, it's not a political arrangement. Peace is the state of consciousness. If fear, resentment, and identity based separation remain inside the people, the conflict always returns. It's like if you're in a relationship and you forgive the person, but you're still holding on to resentment internally, or you feel like someone's done something wrong to you, inevitably it comes back, no? At some moment, something happens and you remember what they did to you. And the same thing happens with countries.
Yeah, Isha. Dogs, they never wake up planning conflict. We wake up planning breakfast, a walk, a nap in the sun. If a dog is calm, the other dogs calm down. If one is tense, the other dogs react. Feeling travels between our bodies. Maybe humans are like that too, just louder.
Yes, Betchy, humans are exactly like that, but maybe a little less aware. Nervous systems are communicating constantly because there's no separation between us. We create the separation, but on a level of consciousness, we're all interconnected. And a tense society creates tense responses. A regulated human brings calm even without speaking. Inner peace is not naive, it is stabilizing. It doesn't mean inaction, it means action without fragmentation, action without violence. Real peace begins in the nervous system, in the perception, in how one meets life.
Yeah, because sometimes I notice that humans look peaceful outside, but their bodies don't feel peaceful. They sit still, but their hands move, their shoulders stay tight, their breathing is shallow. Dogs can smell tension. Did you know that, Isha? And even when a human smiles, sometimes they smell like worry. Maybe humans have wars inside their bodies, not wars with countries, but wars with thoughts, like wanting one thing and doing another, feeling one thing and saying another. Is that war also?
Yes, Betchy, that's what I always say. You know, if you feel something internally, you see it externally. If you have violence internally, you perceive it coming towards you externally. And it's the same collectively as countries. If we have conflict within the society, we see it mirrored externally. So, the most important thing is for each human to take responsibility for healing themselves. A society based in love consciousness, where all the people love themselves, create a completely different society. How would that society look? Well, for one, we'd have acceptance. We wouldn't try to change everyone's opinion about their religion or their belief systems. Another thing is we would flow. We'd be accepting, we'd embrace, we'd love unconditionally. We wouldn't commit violence against each other, we'd be giving to each other. But this comes from a higher vibration. This comes from a society that's vibrating in a high frequency. And this is what we need to focus on. Because when I love myself, I love the world. And when I unify internally, I'm very clear that we're all one. We're not separate. The separateness is an illusion, it's not real. Everything is connected. We are all one. We're all love consciousness. So we need to focus on that which unifies us, not that which separates us.
Yeah, I agree with you, Isha. Everyone needs to love themselves and just chill out and eat an ice cream. But eat an ice cream in peace, not thinking about success or the future. Now, if dogs feel like they have some form of stress, you know what they do? They just shake. If someone scares us, we shake, we breathe, but then life continues. Humans don't shake much, they hold. Maybe they carry old moments in their muscles.
Exactly, Betchy. That's why it's so vital that humans learn to move their stress, move their bodies, release all that tension that's bottled up inside. release the memories that are holding them in conflict and resentment, because they're like poison for the body. But we don't realize that. We think that our resentment's validated and it's like precious and we need to hold on to it. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when humans have disagreements, they pull out a list of everything that someone's done wrong to them. So if you're still holding on the list of what someone's done wrong, where's the bigger list of all the wonderful times that we've shared? Why do we not remember that? Because the wonderful things are not recorded as tension in our bodies, but we need to focus on that. We need to focus on praise, love, and gratitude instead of constantly focusing on what's wrong.
But why do the humans focus on what's wrong? Why do they focus on that when so many beautiful things are happening in the world?
Because they have fear and they're always preparing to protect themselves, be it real or be it illusionary. For some reason, we focus on what's wrong because that control makes us feel safer. But we're not safer. We're actually suffering. We're creating a prison within ourselves that stops us from unifying with the world. Once we have a high vibration, we experience everything from a magical place. But when we're tense and worried, we don't see anything. It's like we're going through life with blinkers, and we do this as countries. I remember when the pandemic started, we entered into collective panic. And yes, it was a serious situation, but that was all we talked about. It was the only thing that existed in the world. And the same thing happens on the news. Every time something bad happens, it's overly emphasized, and we don't portray all the wonderful things that are happening all the time, because there's billions of wonderful things happening, because humans are capable of miracles. Humans are capable of coming together and creating the most spectacular situations. But we don't focus on that. We're always focused on what's wrong, because fundamentally we're always afraid. We're always afraid we're going to lose what we have. We're going to be affected. We're not going to have the life we've chosen. This fear, fortunately, is a very slow vibration, and we don't create it so quickly. But when we focus on love, when we focus on praise and gratitude, the vibration's so high, we start to create from that space, and we create an absolute abundance. And we can create abundance collectively, but it comes from love consciousness.
Yeah. It's very confusing, everything for me. The other day when I watched television, I saw a nice blonde man with a hat, and he says, "Make America great again." Is there something wrong with America? Did something happen? And if it was great before, why isn't it great anymore? And can't we make the whole world great? I'm a little bit confused.
Well, Betchy, the thing is, different people have different perceptions of what's great and what's not great. But there's nothing we can do about that. The most important thing is that people are happy with themselves, and everyone has an opportunity to find peace, to find love, and to be the best of who they are. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you in season 2. What have you got to say, Betchy?
Yeah, fans. I think we need to focus on more peace, more naps, more ice cream, and more love. You guys need to take a deep breath and think, how can we be more involved in puppy love instead of human conflict? Bye for now. Don't forget to push like, and don't forget to subscribe.